Place your bets, red or black, Viva Las Vegas, Roulette is here! And we have got black versus white in the opening match, but before then, we've got Booker T and Booker Joe. Fucking, woo! Are you ready? Eric Bischoff, spin that wheel, baby.
We're here on Raw Roulette, the gamble in Raw, the big stakes Raw, anything goes Raw, Las Vegas, go big or go home, and they don't get any bigger than the Big Show. But I do wish he would go home because the guy absolutely sucks. That's how we kick off Raw with Big Show, Booker T.
Spun for a steel cage match. For me, Big Show should be nowhere near opening the show. This should have been a fun, fast-paced match. Instead, we got this match that we have seen. We complain about Angle Edge. We've seen this match
way too many times.
After Mania, right? Up until about, not even that long ago. It was these two every pay-per-view.
Well, the difference is Angle Edge deliver. I mean, Big Show's never delivered. Yep. But yeah, Eric kicks off the show, welcomes everyone to Raw Roulette, says that every match will have a stipulation determined by the wheel, spins the wheel, and we land on steel cage. So this is it. Booker T, Big Show. And it's going to be an escape rule, so no pinfall for whatever reason. You have to escape the cage, damn it.
I just think when Big Show's in a match, was there any stipulations that would have favoured a better match with Big Show? Like a Chase the Midget match?
Loser leaves Raw match?
I mean, could this match have suited the blindfold a bit more?
Possibly.
Well, the loser leaves the company. Fuck Raw. Actually, it could have been Raw, actually.
So yeah, Big Show had multiple chances to win, but he wanted to punish Booker T more. Booker T ended up fighting back late in the match. He hit a scissors kick off the top rope. Then Booker T was trying to climb out. Big Show stopped him. Booker T went downstairs. Big Show fell off, landed on the mat. Then Booker T climbed up to the floor and he secured the victory. So there you go. Over the top rope, over the top of the cage, down to the floor. Feet touched the flare. That was it. All done. Booker T is victorious. Very boring match. So Big Show, Booker T. Just Big Show dominated. Then at the end, Booker T hit the scissors kick, and that was it really. After the match, Jericho comes out, throws Booker T into the steel cage, and Booker T has been busted open. So Booker T was bloody after this match, thanks to Chris Jericho. Then we cut to the back. Eric Bischoff is with Kane and the Hurricane. Bischoff tells them that he hopes they don't end up like Booker T tonight. Kane tells Bischoff he will take the world title from Triple H at No Mercy, and Bischoff then spins the wheel to decide who their tag team titles are going to be up for grabs, and it turns out it's going to be a TLC match.
Great, this is fantastic. First TLC match that we've seen since, I believe, May of 2001. We're not counting house shows in there, which of course makes it the fourth TLC match. This was a period when TLC matches were great. Same with Hell in a Cell, same with Elimination Chambers, and then they got watered down and they absolutely suck. And what was intriguing about this is we didn't even know the opponent yet, didn't we not?
We didn't know the opponents and we didn't know how many opponents, and I just preferred these matches when they were actually just necessary, not when it's a pay-per-view and they're just having it for the sake of it.
It's called TLC, so we have to have a TLC match with no feud.
Like that Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is atrocious.
Yep, that is, I mean, honestly, that is the worst. That is the worst one. I mean, Elimination Chamber is bad as well. There's a lot of bad ones. I mean, even Extreme Rules. How much better does One Night Stand sound?
I was thinking more along the lines of there's just no need for having a match like that. But whatever. Anyway, let's move on. We get Chris Jericho backstage. Terry asks Jericho why he attacked Booker T for no reason. Jericho says because he doesn't get any respect and because Booker T called him a sucker. Jericho says that he's not a sucker and he's not going to take crap for anybody. I'm not a sucker and I never will be. We go backstage to Triple H and Eric. We've got Ric Flair in here as well. Bischoff spins the wheel and it gives Triple H a blindfold match. Triple H is not happy. He says it's dangerous. He doesn't want it. He's angry with Bischoff, but Flair steps in and introduces two women for Bischoff, and it's almost like, here, he might be in a blindfold match, but at least make the opponent beatable. Well, don't worry, Triple H. Your opponent is going to be very beatable. We then get Regal and Goldust entering. Regal says, come on, man, don't let me spin the wheel. And he wants to have a respectable wrestling match, but it turns out he's having a Las Vegas showgirl match.
Yeah, bloody showgirl.
He thinks he's going to be taking on one of the Las Vegas showgirls, or he's going to be going home with them, but it turns out no. Regal and Goldust will need to dress like showgirls.
No, the problem is for me
during their
here,
match.
though, right? I think Regal and Goldust actually were so much better. Like, it was a part of the same segment. Like, they actually stood out more than Triple H and Flair. I don't know, Triple H and Flair just ain't doing it for me, man. And Regal, to be fair, hasn't been doing it for me for a long time, but this was like Prime Regal was back during the segment, I think so.
Down, down, down,
No, 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 no. But yeah, I mean, I think the segments tonight were really good. I think just some of the matches were left a bit to be desired.
Anyway, next match, non-title match, blindfold match. It was Triple H with Ric Flair versus D'Lo Brown. And it was, it was alright. I mean, it was a bit of a clusterfuck, but that's what they're going for.
It was as good as a
match.
blindfold match could be, right? The only issue I've got with this, does Triple H really need to cheat to beat D'Lo Brown? I get it, the odds come a bit closer because they're both blindfolded, but come on, man. Does Ric Flair need to distract the ref, and does he need to lift up the fucking blindfold to beat D'Lo Brown?
Plus, I wasn't even expecting D'Lo Brown. He just literally appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, the guy's not actually been on... I mean, he's a heat magnet in the wrong way. Because he's on fucking heat. He's got no heat, but he's on heat. But yeah, I mean, Pedigree to D'Lo... I mean, he actually countered a Pedigree, which I was shocked about.
But in the end, D'Lo loses to the Pedigree. Then we go backstage again. Eric Bischoff is with Bubba Ray, Jeff Hardy... About to say Jeff Jarrett there. Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Harvey.
And Christian. Eric Bischoff says, you guys all know a little bit about TLC. He says they're putting them in the match. The trio refused, but Bischoff says that they will or they'll be fired. And, I mean, why would you want to refuse? It's a chance to win a title. And they've all done it before. I get it. It's not a great match, but, I mean, I don't know why Bubba and Jeff would be against it. Maybe Christian, because he's a chicken shit heel, but...
It's funny, though, because, like, Christian's got such a good record in TLC.
And Bischoff says that you get to pick your own partners. So I guess that was the deciding factor, and that seemed to win them around. So
Goldust then jumps in and says, Viva Las Vegas, Eric, as he's dressed up as a showgirl.
And Eric Bischoff just tried to hide his ass from Goldust. Then we got the Las Vegas showgirl match up next. It was Goldust versus William Regal. Regal came out looking like a cheap prostitute, I've got to say it. There's no other way to really describe it. During the match, though, Lance Storm came out to the rescue. He distracted Goldust long enough for Regal to pull brass knocks out of his bra and whack Goldust with. Then Regal got the pin, and that was it. Regal and Lance Storm celebrate. So, well, these two, the Un-Americans, looks like they're maybe going to stay together. So, interesting to see what happens. Un-Americans looks like they've just broken up here. There's no formal breakup. It just looks like they're done. Test is going his own way, Christian's going his own way, but maybe Lance Storm and William Regal.
I think Test has got given the short end of the stick, though, out of the four, judging by what goes on fucking later.
Yeah, backstage, Eric Bischoff and Trish Stratus are there. Bischoff spins the wheel. It's a paddle on a pole match, and
for the
women's.
Which, of course, Bischoff cheated to do because he spun the wheel again. Now, the question is, did Eric Bischoff cheat any other times tonight? Or else, what would have actually have happened tonight when they spin it and it would have landed on something they don't want? What do you think the safety measures are in play there? Is someone behind the wheel making sure it lands on it? Or what do you think actually is the case? Because, I mean, it's not like they could have booked a four-way tag match, Chase the Midget main event, could they?
No.
So what do you think it was the case?
I don't know.
Well, would you not be intrigued to know?
Well, not really. All we need to know is Eric Bischoff cheated here to get the match that he wanted.
Well, he did, and it's exactly what he wanted. He got a paddle on a pole, bra and panties match. I believe the first of its kind. I don't recall another one like this. I've seen a paddle on a pole. I've seen bra and panties, but this is the one of a kind, damn it. We then have Stacey on the way to the ring, stopping to tie her shoe. She gives a crew member a nice view of her booty. This guy just watching on. But if this was today, he'd be a best. Fuck. Wouldn't he?
Oh, he'd be cancelled.
He'd be cancelled.
Up next, Bubba Ray needs to find a tag team partner for the TLC match tonight. He walks in to a locker room, but the bad news for him is only Tommy Dreamer and Spike Dudley are in it. But Bubba Ray doesn't even notice Spike Dudley. He walks straight over to Tommy Dreamer, the man of ECW, and he asks Tommy would he be his partner tonight for TLC. Dreamer gladly accepts. Dreamer thinks that him and Bubba can do it, but Spike's sitting there. Spike's looking a little bit upset. Bubba asks him what's wrong, and Spike says, You hurt my feelings, man. It's always been you and Devon. Never thought tonight was my chance. And it looks like I'm not going to get that chance. He's wanted to replicate what his big brother's done in TLC, a.k.a. lose the match. And he's not going to get the chance to do that. But then Dreamer gracefully bows out the way and he says, look, I'll step aside here. I will sit this one out. You guys do this. The Dudley brothers do this. And that's it, really. Spike and Bubba unite. Spike is the second choice man, but he's going to be the tag team partner anyway. And Tommy Dreamer, who's been on a bit of a roll as of late, has to sit backstage tonight without a match. I just don't get it. Why not have Tommy Dreamer in this match? Tommy and Bubba Dudley, much better team than Bubba and Spike. I'm sorry, Spike, but you're literally the runt of the litter here. I wanted Tommy Dreamer, but Tommy Dreamer was a man. He stepped down and he let the Dudleys go out and compete. So fair play to Tommy Dreamer, but I would have picked Tommy. Well, Bubba wanted to pick Tommy. Spike's just...
He should have stuck with his opinion, though, because like why would you pick Spike over Tommy? I mean, he picked Tommy.
It's not an opinion, it's a choice.
Yeah, but Tommy Dreamer's been winning matches. He wrote off Christopher Nowinski. Went one-on-one with Taker. Went pretty close with the game. What's Spike Dudley doing? Spike Dudley's...
Had a title match against Triple H, didn't he? So
he did, but you know what? Would Bubba Dudley and Tommy Dreamer have won tonight? I'd had more faith in it.
Possibly. Anyway, Brian Panty's on a pole match. Up next, Eric Bischoff spun the wheel twice, so we're getting double duty here for Trish and Stacey Keibler. Stacey rips off Trish's top first, then Trish rips off Stacey's top. Stacey goes for a roll through, tries to get Trish's bottoms off, but then Trish rolls through and takes Stacey's bottoms off, then climbs up and gets the paddle, and she starts spanking Stacey with it, who has to crawl out the ring and tries to make her way for the back. But then Victoria comes down. She doesn't need a paddle. She just starts beating the shit out of Trish Stratus. Then she has a body slam, hits a moonsault, tosses her into the steel steps. Pretty vicious beatdown from Victoria here, and it looks like Victoria really does not like Trish Stratus. We go backstage. The coach is with Jeff Hardy. He asks him, yo, Jeff, who is your tag team partner tonight? Jeff yells into the dressing room for his partner to come out, and it's none other than Mr. Rob Van Dam. And I think Jeff Hardy has definitely picked the best tag team partner here. You cannot go wrong with RVD, especially in this kind of match as well. It's just, this match is just suited for Rob Van Dam.
You absolutely can't. I mean, it is Rob Van Dam every day of the week. And if you look at the tag teams, I mean, Kane by himself, right, it's Kane. Then you've got Christian and Jericho. Then you've got these two. You can't help but look at the Dudleys here and think, fuck, they're looking weak on one side.
Speaking of Christian, earlier in the night, he was getting interviewed by Terry. She asked about his tag team partner. He said he wouldn't pick any of the Un-Americans because he actually wants to win. A sick little burn. Then Christian says he's only lost one TLC, and that was to... And then Chris Jericho enters. So Chris Jericho have decided that they are going to be tag team partners. So every TLC match that has been won so far has either had Christian or Jericho in the team. So this makes a good tag team going into tonight's main event.
Tell you what, to this point, only Canadians had won the match. Maybe the Un-Americans should have waited a few more weeks.
That's
well, I guess this is a Canadian tag team, like.
Very true.
That's a cool statistic, isn't it?
That's a cool statistic. Very cool.
Only Canadians, damn it.
Coach catches up with Victoria. Why are you doing this? Why are you attacking Trish? Victoria says it's because Trish has had a history of hurting people. She's hurt Victoria in the past.
I'm going to expose her.
And now she's going to hurt Trish. So there you go. Then we got a Las Vegas street fight. So that's what it landed on, street fight. Al Snow is on Raw. He's been drafted for not ECW. He's been drafted from Tough Enough to Monday Night Raw. So
didn't know Tough Enough had its own fucking brand.
Been a while since we've seen Al Snow, but he is back and he beats Test. Honestly, match was a bit of a botch fest. It wasn't the greatest match, but I mean, Al Snow wins. Don't know why Test has fallen in the peck. I mean, Test literally had a fucking pay-per-view match with Undertaker not so long ago.
SummerSlam.
And now he's losing to Al Snow.
He must have done something.
No disrespect to Al Snow, but this is an Al Snow that has not been on television for probably about a year, maybe even longer than a year. He might have had the odd appearance, but when was the last time Al Snow was featured as a wrestler?
It's been a long time. I mean, really been a long time. I mean, it's not like it's not like Al Snow's been like booked.
Probably been since 2000. I don't really recall him. Maybe early 2001.
Yeah, he was in the 2001
He was in the
Rumble.
Invasion, wasn't he? I think he was in
a wee bit.
But nah, I mean, the guy's not been there for a year now. Yet he's beaten Test.
I just look at people he could have lost to. Test, even Dreamer. Dreamer's. We just talked about. He's been booked. Al Snow. He's been tough enough. He's even whipping out the fucking bowling ball in this match, and he beats him clean.
Jerry Lawler is up next. He is in a match with Steven Richards. What's it going to be though? We spin the wheel. Legal in Nevada. What does that mean? It means that anything is legal in Nevada, and out comes the Godfather with all his hoes. So I'm assuming that prostitution is legal in Nevada, and basically whoever wins this match is going to get a night with the hoes. And I mean, I guess this just goes to show you that maybe the whole thing must be fixed, because this match for Jerry Lawler, that I thought maybe there was a chance that they did the wheel legit. But I don't think that's the case. I think maybe Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday, I think that stuff could be legit, because they'll give you the three options that they're happy to give. But when you've got a wheel, there's just so many options that wouldn't make sense for certain matches. It's like, what if they spun the wheel for Jerry Lawler versus Steven Richards and it was a brand panties match? It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, so. I remember 1 year Jericho took on Benjamin. Jericho said in his podcast that it was him that was announced to take on Benjamin. They changed it on the fly in the ring for Benjamin to win.
So I remember that.
So there you go. Shelton Benjamin, he benefited from Taboo Tuesday. But yeah, I think some things could benefit for this and could be real. But it's like, you just couldn't have the main event being a 4-way catch the midget match. And for this one, the Godfather wouldn't be there for no reason. But here, at least this was legal in Nevada. It could have been way worse. I don't know what is legal in Nevada, but seems like it could have been some crazy shit.
Yeah, so Jerry Lawler wins. I mean, Jerry Lawler's looking pretty good here. He's looking better than Ric Flair, let's put it that way. Then the hoes get in and they celebrate. Jerry Lawler's acting like he's won the fucking lottery, as if he's just become a trillionaire. One of the hoes is on the floor and it looked like her top was about to fall down, and Jerry Lawler was... I mean, he'll argue that he was pulling it up, but I mean, I think he was just molesting the chick, to be honest. And that's it. Jerry Lawler leaves with the Godfather. Now, JR says that he was going to leave and he would spend the night with the Godfather after the show went off the air, but that turned out not to be the case, because Jerry Lawler just left and he never came back. So Jim Ross is having to go one-on-one with himself, because there is no tag team partner. There's no one to tag in for the rest of the show.
No, there is no one to tag in. You know what? And JR, he absolutely carried the main event. But before we get to the main event, we have got Terry and Kane, damn it, backstage. Are these two in a relationship? Kind of hinting towards that a wee bit, maybe, potentially. She asked Kane, though, if he was going to be at a disadvantage going into a world title match after a TLC match. He says, for the first time in his life, though, he is happy. And at No Mercy, I'm going to hold the world, the IC, and the tag titles at the same time. I tell you what a fucking thing that would have been for Kane coming back to hold 4 titles all at once. But then Coach appears out of nowhere and he informs Kane that Triple H and Ric Flair are beating up the Hurricane. And then what proceeds here is Kane running for a good 2 minutes while we just cut back and forth between Triple H and Ric Flair battering the Hurricane. Kane's fucking running like the Crystal Maze.
This must have been a big arena, because Kane was running at full speed here, and it took him about 10 years to get to the scene. He gets there, he pushes an official out the way. Unfortunately, though, he's too late. The Hurricane's already been beat up here, so Hurricane can't compete tonight, and Kane is going to have to go it alone. So tonight's main event, Kane versus Christian and Jericho versus Hardy and RVD versus Bubba and Spike.
I actually agree with not including Hurricane in this match. I preferred this dynamic. I think it suited Kane going in solo.
It did. I thought it
and
did.
That's nothing against Hurricane. I just don't think he was needed.
Yeah, and it was a great match. Is it the weakest TLC out of the 4? I would probably rate it above the one that Chris Jericho and Benoit won.
Yes, I would.
Despite me saying earlier that I thought that was good, I did think it was good. I think all 4 TLC matches have been great, but the reason I just think the one with Jericho and Benoit does get forgotten a bit.
It does, and I think as well, that one, it was literally the same people, except for, Jericho and Benoit.
Yeah, this felt fresh. You had different teams, alright, you had some of the same people, but there was different combinations.
Like, Van Damme and Kane, to me, were the MVPs from the people that hadn't been in it before. I mean, I guess the people who only hadn't been in it before were Spike, I guess, but for me, I mean, there's so many spots to talk about. You've Bubba bombs off the top, you've the neckbreaker Christian does, you've coast to coast. Every table spot was a banger. It was.
Well, I was just about to say, the only thing that I think they could have improved on was a bit more table spots.
Yeah, no, they could have. Yeah, I think they lacked a big one. Like when Jericho went flying off the ladder by Spike, I guess maybe he could have went through a table, but it was a very awkward spot.
I only recall one table spot, so correct me if I'm wrong.
I recall three.
Three? Name them.
Jeff Hardy doing it on Kane. Spike went for the Dudley Dog and Christian threw him through a table, and then Bubba Ray did a back body drop with Jeff Hardy and he went through a table.
Fair enough.
Do you remember the Kane one?
No, Jeff Hardy.
You don't even remember the Kane one? No. Fuck, that's the most memorable one. Sure, Jeff Hardy jumps off the ladder, like 20-foot ladder, and leg drops him. I remember that.
No.
What the fuck?
God damn it. Anyway, the coast to coast for me is a thing of beauty.
I think it's one of the best ones because it's the ricochet.
I kind of prefer it though when RVD does it with the chair in hand, but I mean I don't mind. Jeff, it was teamwork, so it worked. But...
No, because like one of his like feet hits it first, but then the second one like just cracks Kane right in the face.
And the way Kane fell at the ring, I mean the selling here is fantastic.
Kane sold both big moves like
I mean, if this was AEW, Kane would just probably jump up and hit a super kick.
I know.
I mean, it fucking is what it is, but we've got a big 7-foot guy and he just basically slouches and falls to the outside.
And you know what?
He's been killed.
I wouldn't even say I can't even remember any sort of botch in this or any sort of like misplacement or mistiming. It was fucking brilliant.
I tell you what, I think the person that let this match down though was Bubba Ray. And the reason I'm going to say that is I think there was a couple of occasions where he was making it obvious.
Yes,
there were spots coming, and I didn't see anyone else do that. But there was twice.
With a swanton.
He done it with a swanton, and he also done it with the Jeff Hardy running. I'm going to use your back as a springboard and then do the flying leg drop or whatever into the turnbuckle. Now JR said it was teamwork. It wasn't teamwork.
No.
But
Bubba's selling while Jeff went up his back.
But it was poor selling for Bubba Ray. So yeah, I think Bubba Ray actually made this match on a couple of occasions look a bit phony. And it's not often I'd say that about Bubba Ray, but...
Yeah, no, Bubba... But you know what? I think he made up for it with the Bubba Bomb, because that was one of the spots.
I like how JR just had to say it was teamwork. Because it's JR trying to correct the mistake, in my opinion.
I wonder what he said for the Swanton. Teamwork, he's moving in the position, buddy. But yeah, I mean, the Bubba Bomb for me is fucking hell. Christian would have a sore arse after that.
But yeah, I'm not going to criticise Bubba too much, because look at today when they're waiting to catch someone for a moonsault. Fucking standing there as if they're waiting on a bus. Arms up in the air. Oh, wait.
Is that the number 5? I need it. The Jericho spot where he just flies over and cracks like pretty much off the steel steps. That was a really good spot.
Should have been a table, I think, there to break Jericho's landing. With Jericho with the walls of Jericho on top of the ladder, RVD's back, legs, arms stretching in every single direction. Must have been a bit like William Wallace here. Felt like he was getting hang drawn and quartered.
Yeah, that's just fucking brilliant.
And then Kane choke slams Jericho off the top of the ladder and he wins the belts, and it's a great match, great moment. It should have ended the show, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Because Triple H came out. Triple H warned Kane that his life wouldn't be the same after tonight. Triple H says that Kane is happier than he's ever been, but he asks how happy is Katie Fick. Triple H says he knows that Kane killed her 10 years ago, and then Triple H says that Kane is a murderer. So, right, Kane gets accused of being a fucking murderer. I mean, the problem is here, no one fucking knows who this Katie Fick person is. Triple H first brings her up when he asks Kane how happy Katie Fick is, and the crowd's just, there's no response. We don't give a fuck who Katie Fick is. Why did they think this was a good idea?
Yeah, and next week it gets even worse. Have you seen this?
I think this is something that should start the show.
Yeah.
And then you can tell the story throughout the night.
Like, how do you have, like, a great match, Kane wins, and then it just ends dead? Like, dead. I mean, what was this?
Instead of ending with a massive TLC match with Kane celebrating, we end with the name Katie Fick.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you want to include Flair and Triple H, you could have them both come down, and Kane, like, chokeslams Triple H through a table or something, but leave Katie Fick.
No, you could just have Kane celebrate. I don't think you need to do any of that.
No, you don't, but if you want to include Triple H, then you're a murderer. How the fuck can you end the show, right, with Triple H calling Kane a murderer? He doesn't even get to say anything. We don't even know who it is.
I am not a murderer.
Murderers are cool. Alright, Kane. Yeah, just.
Also, apparently Bubba Ray had a concussion, so maybe that's why he was a little bit fucked up.
Could be.
And although, to be fair, I think, was it the Jericho did like a bulldog off the ladder, and Bubba looked like he did land head first on the mat.
Yeah, like nose fucking first.
Although I think one of the spots I complained about was before that. Although I could be wrong.
Although he did take numerous ladders. With a chair shot, he took the ladder, he cracked his dome. So.
I take it all back. Bubba Ray's the man. Anyway, that's it. It's time to review Raw, this Roulette edition. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed the show. I just think some of the matches could have been better. I mean, the main event was great, but I'm struggling to look at a match on the rest of the tapings that was...
Is it safe to say that everything Triple H and Ric Flair did was pretty pish?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best match outside of the main event was Trish versus Stacey Keibler because, you get to see hot women in bikinis, so...
Yeah, I mean, Regal was funny, but again, we don't really want to see Regal in that sort of
Al
shape.
Snow versus Test
went just too long.
It was just a bit of a fuck up, really. I think the blindfold match was... it was alright, but I mean, D'Lo fucking Brown.
Yeah. Tommy Dreamer would have suited that for me.
Or Big Show, I think maybe Big Show could have done that.
Yeah, Big Show again, Booker T, it wasn't for me. I'm going to give it a 7. I think an 8 would be too high, so that's why I have to bring it down to a 7.
I think with Big Show, you could have maybe tried to play the whole avoiding him thing better.
Yeah.
Then the whole cheating to win thing makes a bit more sense. But with Triple H having to cheat to beat D'Lo Brown, now you could say he was blindfolded, but so was D'Lo Brown, so did you really need to... So Triple H needed to cheat to beat a guy that couldn't see, and that guy was D'Lo Brown. At least if you're cheating to beat a blind 7-foot giant, you can spin that.
Yeah, whatever way you want. But
you're cheating to beat a blind guy that has not won a match on Raw in like fucking 3 years. So that's what it is.
Pretty bad. 7.5 out of 10. I'm pretty sure that main event will probably rank on the top 10 matches of 2002. Would you say so?
I would say so. Maybe it's just the Raw scene. There's just not much there. Where was 3 Minute Warning in the night?
Nowhere to be seen.
3 Minute Warning and Rico, nowhere to be seen.
I'm not saying I would have rathered them in this match because they're very green, but you're wondering why they're not in this match.
No, but I just think they could have had I wouldn't want them in
I
this
wouldn't
match.
I wouldn't have wanted them in it.
But I think they could have done something. They could have been in the wheel. Hold up, see you think about it.
Loser gets beat up by 3 Minute Warning.
WWE had to call back D'Lo Brown the night. They had to bring in Al Snow, and Jerry the King Lawler had to have a match.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with Raw? Is there a problem with Raw that those three had to wrestle? No offence to them. On Heat, we had fucking Raven on Heat.
We'll talk about the dark match first.
Why not have Raven in this?
Yeah, the dark match, we had Solo against Horseshoe. What? What's that?
I don't know. Randy Orton's been on Raw the past couple weeks, nowhere to be seen tonight.
He could have took Triple H on.
Maybe they don't want me to lose.
No, that's true. I guess he just buried Christian and Lance Storm.
I just don't get it. I thought outside of the main event, the match card was pretty weak.
The segments were all good, but the matches were... I don't know, I just think going into Raw Roulette, I was expecting, they're probably going to have 3 or 4 great matches, but the problem with that is, I think, when you've got in your main event, the likes of Jericho, Kane, Van Damme, Jeff, Christian, Bubba, that's a lot of people who can have great matches.
It's basically the entire Raw main event scene.
Yeah.
Because there isn't much of a main event scene at the moment.
The upper mid-carders.
So yeah, anyway... it was a one-match show, and that's all it needed to be. 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10, guys. Until next time. Peace.